Hey guys, just want to come back real quick to do a video response to my girl ieattofu68. She actually replies to a lot of my different videos, but this one actually kind of got me thinking. She replied to the video I just posted, which was my New Growth Challenge Week 1 update, and she brought out a point. A lot of times I talk about how, I want to retwist my hair every couple of weeks or so, especially once I see it frizzy. So she asked me these 4 good questions. The first one was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for me to see my scalp? Number 2 is, do I consider my hair or being able to see my scalp to be more professional? Do I consider any frizziness of my hair to be unprofessional? And as I continue through this New Growth Challenge, is it going to really bother me that bad? So I figured it would be better for me to respond to her via video than to just do this whole long paragraph, and maybe to help somebody else out there as well. And even as I started thinking about it, it kind of helped me to challenge and open up my mind too to really ponder the answer to these questions. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for me to see my scalp? I'd say about a 6 at this point. It used to be close to a 9 or a 10. But I'm getting used to it. I'm starting to challenge myself and stretch myself. I pride myself in how neat, how neat I kept my first set of locks. Being a young African American, when you have locks and you work in a predominantly white environment, there are a lot of black hair questions. And when you throw locks in there, it's just like, phew. So, it's one thing to answer questions about weaves, about cornrows, braids, and stuff, and then you have to answer questions about locks. And, of course, I always hear, oh, well, you have very nice sets of locks or dreadlocks, or those are the best sets of locks I've ever seen. And there's a lot of negative connotations out there with locks and being maintained, but there also are a lot of people that do a, miraculous job of maintaining their locks to the point where it's just like, I'm in awe, And that's men and women, white, black. It doesn't matter what color they are. I have seen some beautiful sets of locks that I'm just in love with. But when you work with certain people, and in my profession, I really focus on keeping them looking neat because I can't stand getting the side eye and look. Now, granted, where I am right now with my hair, it doesn't look bad. And personally, I'm to the point also where I'm like, this is my hair. I can do what I want to do. I'm not to the point where I would consider free-forming or semi-free-forming or just kind of let my hair go, because I do really like that manicured look. But I'm also looking at the fact that I like the way that my hair looks a week or 2 after the retwist, more so than I like it a day or so after. After my hair has gotten used to it, my locks are starting to form and kind of expand a little bit. So I would definitely rate my desire for a fresh look at about a 6, and that's gradually decreasing. Like I said, it was at a 9 or a 10, and now it's down to like a 6. The next question, if I remember, was, do I consider a fresh retwist to be more professional? For me, I think I enjoy it more. I feel like people will perceive me in a different way if my hair is neat, clean, and tidy all the time compared to if I, leaving it out and I'm frizzy. Because like I said, I work in an environment where a lot of people don't understand black hair. So I think that it eliminates a lot of questions, a lot of comments. But I don't think that it changes my level of professionalism one way or the other. I think it changes the perception that others, perceive me the way others perceive me. But who I am, I don't think it changes that as well. Do I consider any type of frizziness to be unprofessional? No. I actually am hats off to anybody that's free-forming, semi-free-forming. Whatever you do, you wear your locks the way you want to wear your locks. And that's kind of how I look at mine. I wear my locks the way I want to wear them. But I think that certain styles look better on certain people. Certain people have different reasons why they want to lock their hair. They have different goals. They have different jobs. They have different lifestyles. And I think whatever suits you, go for it. I don't feel like it's going to make you any more or less professional how you wear your hair. Again, I feel like the fact that I like a retwist or I like to keep mine pretty manicured It's just my personal preference. I don't think it's anything one way or the other. I know I mentioned in my last video that I'm worried because I have a presentation coming up. This is my first professional presentation, so I'm going in front of a whole bunch of people that I don't know. And I think I'm nervous in a sense with it being my first presentation that I just want everything to just fall into place. And that's kind of why I was like, I really want to retwist my hair so that I can give this professional demeanor, because the person that asked me to do this, there's somebody that I hold of a high accountability. And then the other person that's involved, they don't know me from Adam. So I really want to make a good impression on them without having to break through the barriers of, well, why'd you wear your hair like this, or why you look like this, or you're not accountable, or you're not appropriate for this. I just prefer to avoid that if possible. But after this presentation and stuff is over, I really don't care. This is just it's kind of like a landmark. Once I get past this and get it out my system, get through this presentation, I feel like my confidence level is going to rise, and it doesn't matter what I look like, but I feel like I'm just trying to get all the pieces in place, because right now my confidence level for the presentation is like here. So I'm really, really working on that. Again, I don't feel like my hair being frizzy or not, and depending on how my hair looks in a couple weeks, it still may not get retwisted. So it just really depends on where I'm at. I feel like I'm doing a decent job of maintaining it, tying it up, keeping it dry. I'm not letting it get out of hand. I'm not doing anything to it, but I feel like I'm doing a good job of, keeping it looking neat and clean at least. And the last question was about, as my hair grows, I continue with this challenge, and the new growth starts to come in and form new locks, whatever. I don't think I'm going to let my hair get to the point where it's forming new locks. I am going to keep them separated, popping them I try to keep my hands out of my head, but I'm also making sure none of them connecting. In the back will probably be my most likely area. And it's like a strand here or there that I accidentally pulled. But it's probably a strand here or there that might kind of tangle and mingle. But when I wash my hair, I might find myself kind of pulling them apart anyways. But I don't see my hair getting to that point. Is it going to bother me? Probably not. Probably because, the longer you go without your hair, you have it tied up, without doing something to it, without maneuvering or whatever you want to call the locks, there is that risk of them locking together or coming together, meshing together. And I kind of want to share this past week, a couple days ago, my father-in-law, he's had locks, so I want to say close to 15, 16 years. He's trimmed them back a couple times, but they're like tailbone length. And my mother-in-law had been sick for some time, and she normally was the one that had been doing his hair. When I first started dating their son, my hair was a little bit shorter than this. So they were able to watch me go and grow through that whole 6-year journey with my first set of locks. Even up to the point where I cut them, I'm starting them over now. And his locks they're very well maintained lower down. He has some 2-headed dragons, some 5-headed dragons. But then closer as you got to the scalp, you can see where the damage had been done, where the weight of the locks and the length of his locks, where he was pulling on them, had started to kind of thin out in the back. So in the crown of his head, he had a lot of loose hair that wasn't connected to anything. And he had some locks around his side. Of course, his parts weren't going to be even or anything. And he asked me the other day, how did I feel about, popping his locks, separating them, cleaning up his scalp. And I told him I'd be willing to do it. So we washed it, and I went in, and I took very meticulous care with his hair. And I was able to separate his hair and able to take a lot of that loose hair and connect it to locks around his head. And looking at his hair and having conversations with him over and over again, when I used to talk to him, I said, does this not bother you? He said, no. He said, if they fall off, they fall off. He said, I'm going to stick to the man. And he would laugh and joke about it. But he was like, this is me. The locks are who I am. If they get to the point where all my locks fall off except for one in the back, I'm going to rock that one in the back, because that's how dedicated I am to my locks. That's what it represents to me. Regardless of what they look like, this is still part of my journey. And I think that really hit home for me, even though I do take a lot of time and care with my locks. If they fall off, if they break off, if they connect, whatever they decide to do, my hair is going to have a mind of its own. I can manipulate it as much as I want to. I could try my hardest to keep them looking decent. But if my hair decides that it wants to do something else, if it wants to get frizzy, if it wants to come loose, if it wants to grow together, I just have to accept that as part of my journey. Because this is part of my journey. You know, I wouldn't say that anything particular led to me cutting off my first set of locks. Nothing like where they grew together, or I got upset, or they were too frizzy, or I just got frustrated. I think I let them go just because I thought I was done with that journey. And this journey, I can't expect it to be the exact same as last time. I can't expect my locks to turn out exactly like they did last time. I don't know if a couple months down the road I may decide to do a semi-freeforming journey or even freeform down the road. I just don't know. And I think that's what the beautiful thing about locks is I can't say that I'm going to feel one way or the other about it because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what, you know, what's going to happen when I'm a plan 2 months down the road. All I know is that I want to embrace this journey, and I don't intend on cutting my hair again unless I trim them back when they get longer. But I feel like, you know, this new growth challenge is really going to be a test for me to ponder on these questions that ieattofu68 asked me. To think about it as the days go on, how bad is this really bothering me? Is this physical growth helping me to grow internally at all, or is it stressing me out? Is it bothering me? Do I feel like I'm losing something part of that journey? So anybody else that's out there that's a part of this new growth challenge or is thinking about embarking on a semi-freeform or freeform journey, ask yourself those questions. Number 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to see your scalp? Number 2, do you consider always maintaining a fresh retwist to be professional? Number 3, do you consider any type of frizziness to be unprofessional? And number 4, as you let your hair grow, and should your hair decide to do different things like get tangled, start new locks, intermingle, get fuzzy, how bad is that really going to bother you? So I thank you for tuning in. ieattofu68. I hope this answered all your questions. And I have to catch y'all next time.